Welcome to One Interview, One World. This is Lainey Kay, and this is a show about interviewing people from all walks of life because everyone has a story to share and we can all learn from each other. I hope you enjoy listening. Today I'm with Nigel Dix, and Nigel is from England, and we're going to learn a good amount about his life and his perspectives and how he got to where he is today. So, Nigel, I know you're from England, but where in England are you from?
A little town called Tewkesbury in the Midlands area. Very rural, very country. And some say I haven't lost my accent, Lainey, but I promise you I have, because you couldn't understand the original accent.
Can you do the original accent?
All right, I'll come around in the morning and knock you up, all right? I'll bring the lorry and we'll go, we're off. We'll see the gaffer.
You're and like, what's the gaffer? I understand
it. The boss.
The what?
The boss.
Oh.
I'll bring the lorry, the truck. I'll knock you up means I'll come knock on your door and get you up early. So it's like, it would be a lot faster spoken than that.
Yeah.
And so it was very difficult to have a conversation. It always was. Because people were like, you're going to knock me up? Huh? I'd say, oh, nice jumper. You're not jumping me.
Huh? Yeah. So in America, everybody was like, what?
Yeah. It was very different. It was very hard to have a conversation. It really was.
Mm.
And so that makes it difficult. So you got to slow it down, get rid of the slang, and just move forward.
Okay.
People would go, and then they walk away.
Aww.
I'm like, what? Did I say something wrong? Huh?
Like, I didn't get one word you just said to me. Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
And I think even in America, we probably speak really fast for someone who's learning, say, English. But if you were learning English,
yeah,
runs together.
Yeah.
Tell me about the town that you grew up in. What was it like?
Very small rural town. The only thing you did there was you had a band, you fish, or you drink. There really was nothing else. Gas back then in 1987 was close to $2 a gallon then. We didn't make that kind of money. We made about $1.50 an hour. So it was very expensive. So I was a fisherman.
Okay.
And so I'd sit there and fish all day. I didn't graduate high school. I was considered retired at this school. Turns out I probably had fibromyalgia all my life. So being massively fatigued all day was not fun. And so
that was the motivation to sit and listen all day long to school.
Well, no, you couldn't. You were just kind of out of it. You couldn't think. You looked like you were just tired. It's like you weren't in there.
Mm-hmm.
They thought it was mental retardation or a learning disability. They didn't know what it was. And they had no way of knowing. So it affected me. So at 16 years old, they invited me to leave school. The last day, they said, don't do the test. You're invited to leave. Go work the farm. You're going to regret not learning. So I had to be on my own.
So no sympathy, no understanding.
Not really.
Do you think that now maybe teachers and educators are more aware of learning disabilities and wouldn't treat people like that?
It doesn't have the same stigmatism that it used to.
Yeah.
Used to have a very strong stigma. Wanted to send me to special school. Probably would have been a suicide because that was such a stigma to that.
Mm.
So it wouldn't happen. But no, school was tough. So after school, I left and worked the farm, worked the factory. Didn't like it. Spent most of my time getting drunk and fishing until I was about 21. And then I moved to America. Just got on the plane and flew here. Didn't leave. Got deported in 1990. So I got in the newspaper. And I came back 6 weeks later. And I stayed ever since.
Tell me the story when you were on the corner.
Well, the corner, I actually stole a bicycle because I was homeless, living in a tent, didn't have a home. So I stole the neighbor's bicycle and I rode it 6 miles every day to stand on the corner. And when the guys drove up, we'd all run to the truck and they'd go, you, and you, and you. And you didn't ask what you were doing. You didn't ask what they're paying. They just paid you what they paid you. And so anyway, the newspaper came along one day, probably the OC Register or something, and said, "Hey, can we interview?" Yes, we all posed for a picture right before the vans tried to arrest us all, and they ran it. And you read the story there. Oh yeah, they can't deport me. I'm from England. They're not going to pay to send me back. So they came to my house and they arrested me. Can you see that? That's me there with the long hair.
Isn't that crazy?
And so there was a big story in the newspaper. They picked me up, took me for jail for 8 days, and I did a voluntary return, deportation. And then they took me to San Onofre first, and then San Clemente, and then 3 different jails. And it was 8 days, longest days of my life. And when I went into jail, on the last one, this big Jamaican dude, must have been over 7-8 feet tall, 7.5 feet tall, as big as a house. And he comes up and he's got a scar right from here to here on his face, but the most gentle guy. He says, "You're a white boy, that's your group." I says, "Do not mix the other races, you'll get hurt real fast." And he educated me real quickly on what to do. He said, "If you need drugs, let me know. Where am I going to get money from?" I'm like, holy crap. He says, "You need weed, coke, I said, "No." "Heroin?" "No." "Cold beer would be nice." "Can't get that." And so that's how I ended up there. And then I went to court and they said, "Okay, you can either be deported or we can do a voluntary." So I had to raise my own money to go back.
Oh, you had to pay for the ticket to fly home too?
Yeah, because otherwise, if it had been deportation, I'd have been gone out of the country for 3 years.
Oh, okay.
Instead, I had to be out of the country for 6 months. Well, I didn't. I came back in 6 weeks. I couldn't take it over there. As much as I didn't like it here as much in the first 18 months because it was so hard, no friends, no money, no nothing, it was a million times better than being in England with no hope of ever doing better. And that was the devastating part.
Mm-hmm.
It was just devastating. When I was back in England, I was known by every single person in town. I was there till 22. I knew every single person by name, love me or hate me. I knew everybody. There was 21 bars in town, and I could tell you exactly who was in every single bar. When I went back after 18 months because I got deported, I literally knew 6 people in that town. They're all gone. I was stuck trying to work in a greenhouse with tomatoes, raining outside, 130 degrees inside, picking tomatoes for $2.30 an hour. And I had to get enough to get a ticket back. It took me 6 weeks to get enough for a ticket, not for food, not for rent, nothing, just a ticket. There was they put this code on my passport and I scrubbed it off. And I just used my passport and I hope I could get through. I got a return ticket and I went back and I came back. And they didn't catch it.
So on the actual passport, they put some kind of code?
They wrote it in pen. So back there in 1989,
yeah,
no big deal. But going back to England devastated me. I realized how bad it was there. What I could do, I could only work the farms or the factory. I could never be anything more, anywhere.
Tell me, though, your motivation for coming to America versus going somewhere else in England or going, maybe some other country closer to you. What was the motivation to come here?
I looked at all countries and ended up having a friend here. But what I liked about here, although it was very hard in the beginning, because when you've got nowhere to live, no car, no work, you grab a bicycle, you ride 6 miles to work on the corner with the Mexican guys. It's very difficult because you got that circle. No money because I got no car. I got no car because I got no work. I got no work because I got no, it's like round and round. And so then we ended up moving into a 1-bedroom with 7 people, which was an upgrade from living in a tent. And then we moved into a 2-bedroom with 9 people, which was another upgrade. And so just worked my way up. And it wasn't until recently, about 14 years ago, I got married and finally got my green card.
So before that, you didn't have access to getting a green card or any? No?
There's no way for an Englishman to get a green card. Being English and white, there's no possible way except to get married. I wasn't married. Or have a company that has over 100 employees. That's the only way. You don't get amnesties, you don't get anything. There's no possible way to get a green card. So I didn't go for my green card right away until 3 years ago because I thought they'd just deport me again. Even though I was married, because I was on, the first thing he did when I went to the interview, he says, "Oh, is this your picture here?" And he showed me a picture of me on the corner on the front page. Yeah, that's me. And he says, "Okay." And so I never tried to get it after that. Even though I've been married 14 years.
So that would be over your head, that you're always stressed out that you might be deported?
No.
No, you didn't worry about it.
I had my license. I had my social security number.
Okay.
They gave me that years ago.
Okay, so how did you get the social security number?
Well, back then, I borrowed a car and I wrecked it. I literally wrecked my car, their car, got into a big accident, and the cop gave me a ticket for no seatbelt. Not insurance, not license, nothing. There's seatbelt. So I go to court, and the judge says, "Well, let me see your license." "I haven't got one, Judge. I'm here illegally." "Well, how can I give you a ticket if you ain't got a license? Go get a license." I go to the DMV. "Can I get a license?" "No, where's your social?" "Well, how can we give you a license? You haven't got a social. Go get a social." I go to the social office. "Can I get a social?" "Yeah, sign here." "What do you want it for?" "Bank account." "Okay, sign here." DMV, back to the judge, pay my $50 fine.
Did they know that you were born in England when you got your social? So that is just so weird. I don't get that. Just a weird
After that day, they registered me to vote, the military, everything. I went, what? Of course, I didn't do either of those. But no, back then you could do all that. And so therefore, I had everything I needed to be self-employed.
Wow.
Simple.
That's crazy.
So as long as I was self-employed, and then a few years later, and as soon as I came back from the England the second time, I went and got a student loan for $2,000, $3,000 to be a bartender. I then went and got a bartender's job. And then in school, they said, "You're going to make $1 a drink and you're going to make all this money." I was making $6 a shift plus pay. So I'm making no money. So about 3 years into bartending, I get a job in LA, and that's a much better job, which is 1993. And then I really wanted my own business. Well, I'd already failed about 100 times. Literally everything I tried failed. And my brother once said to me, "Why don't you just quit? Every time you do business, you lose about $5,000, and you quit again, you lose it again." And I did. I was looking for business. Everything from mail order businesses to drop ship to, whatever it was, you name it, I did it, multi-level, everything. Failed all the time. And then a guy came along, and he was a homeless guy, and he ended up being my partner. And we got into the ATM cash machine business. And this guy was a drug addict. That's why he became but he was a brilliant eccentric. Absolutely brilliant. He used to be a millionaire, multi-millionaire. He had all the clothes, looked like a millionaire, but he was homeless. So he lived in my garage. He helped me build the ATM business, which I had for 24 years. And that was, I started losing it 2 years ago, and I finally lost it after all those years. So we had a residual income for many years, but I still failed over 100 times. And my brother says, "You just got to quit. You're stupid. You can't do it." What do? Do you just quit? No. And so
you've always had I want to do my own thing. I don't want to work for somebody so much, it sounds like.
I couldn't qualify to work at McDonald's. I don't have that learning capacity.
Okay.
I don't. I couldn't get a regular job for minimum wage. I'd get fired because I don't have that fast enough a learning process. I've got to do it myself slowly.
I see. Yeah.
So I had no choice.
You know what you're capable of. Yeah.
Yeah, it's almost like a mental retardation, but it's a learning disability.
Yeah.
And along with the fibro I had till 2 years ago, every day was like, huh? It was just crazy. And so coming back here, as hard as it was, because Huntington Beach back then was all drugs. It was the hell capital of the world. It was all just drugs and homeless. In fact, we rented a 2-bedroom apartment by the beach for $700 for 9 people. Rented a 1-bedroom for $500 on the beach. I could have bought a sixplex for $200,000, but I couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
And I told people, I said, you got to see this. This is going to be $1 million properties. Oh, you're an idiot. Look at all the drugs. Da, da, da.
I wasn't even aware. I wasn't even aware of that.
You're too young.
I mean, not that much. So that's crazy. Yeah, that was.
Mesa was considered, oh my God, that's the poor Mexican families. Garden Grove, that's the poor immigrant Asians. We don't go those areas. Oh my God, no. No one goes there. And Huntington Beach was just like, that's where it was.
You knew someone that was here when you came. Who was that?
My friend Martin, he'd been here for 4 years. He lived in a garage. He converted a garage, and we lived in someone's back garden in a tent. So he literally said, hey, come on, we paid $5 a night to live in the back garden. And if you couldn't pay, you couldn't stay that night. So it was like we called it Tent City.
Isn't that crazy? So what kind of work were you doing before you became the bartender? Like if you're on the street and you're trying to get work, what were you doing?
We'd work for anything from $3 to $5 an hour, digging ditches, painting, landscaping, moving furniture, digging a sewer up, anything you could get. And eventually someone would give you work for a house cleaning, and furniture removal was the worst.
Wow.
Because that was brutal. And so that's what we did, just anything you could get.
Yeah.
And so that's why I was always trying to find my own business. I got to find my own business.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't until I found the ATM business that I finally did well.
And then the ATM business, that was what, putting ATMs into places, or was it?
Well, it's funny. I started off, I didn't own any machines. No, I started off owning 3 machines, and I borrowed $30,000 when I was almost homeless and broke. And I lost it in 6 months. I ended up selling those machines broken back to the owners and becoming a technician. And then I had to pay the $30,000 back to the person I borrowed it from. It took me years, 10 years. And then I built, just by putting machines in your liquor store, your flower shop where I put like ATMs in, I'd make a residual income. And we'd make about 30 cents a transaction if we didn't own the machine.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I got it up to about $2,000 a month on a few machines. And then the guy I was processing with sent me a notice one day. Oh, by the way, Nigel, you're out of business. I'm buying your machines and I'm selling them. And his $6,000, which was 3 times, he was supposed to pay me 30 times the amount of the residual. First of all, he was only paying me 5 cents a transaction. I was making $2,000. Well, he should have paid me 30 cents. And then he gives me 3 times the 5 cents per transaction. And he says, take it or leave it. That put me out of business. That residual should have been huge. So I built it again. I then stole the accounts back, said, up here, sue me. I stole the accounts back, built it up again to about $25,000 a month. Then the Obama comes in and he says, okay, we've got something called the Dodd-Frank bill. We're going to stop money laundering. Sounds great. It was about this thick, literally, in my hands. No one had ever to this day has read the whole thing. But it said, if you're a banker and you accept someone's business and they end up money laundering, you are going to jail. So they cut out, and it wasn't even in there. So, okay, so ATMs and check cashing, laundry, all lost their accounts. Everybody lost their accounts because of the side effects of it.
With the bank, you mean?
Yeah.
Banks
couldn't risk you being a cash business and coming into their accounts. So what's it before that? So I've lost it 3 times. I forget the order now. But then they came along and said, well, the deaf can't hear the machine and the blind can't see it. So you've got to have Braille and you've got to have this and that and the end. So we had to replace all our machines. That put me out of business. Oh, lovely. And then, the very first time before the Dodd-Frank bill, the banks decided they didn't want to pay the residual income on the back end. So I went from, let's say, I'll take 5 accounts over here. I was making around $380 a month on just these 5 accounts in the mountains, all year round, every month. All of a sudden, I get a bill for $25. And I went, hang on, where's my 400 and some or 300 and some dollars? Oh no, you owe us $25. They took that away. So they took all the money away. So in 1 month, I lost 5 incomes. My residual income, my ATM income, my fixed income, my consultant income, all these different incomes, I lost them all in 1 month.
All because of a law that got passed.
Yeah. And the banks decided to take away the money.
That's just horrible. Good
That's
apple.
But that's how, Lainey, that's how things can change in your business, my business, anyone. You think you've got the safest business in the world. I guarantee you one day you'll wake up and go, where'd it go? And that's what happened to the ATM business. That's the first time. Then the Dodd-Frank bill came in. And then the, that was part of the Dodd-Frank bill. And then the blind have to see it, the deaf have to hear it. And then they said later on, after all that, after they put me out of business 3 times, well, we haven't got a chip on the card for your machine, so you got to change your machines again because you need that chip on the card. So I'm in a business 4 times, and the last time I said, I'm done. I'm not building it again. Each time I got to about 20,000, 25,000, it crashed. And it was like, the mountain top, and fell off the edge. So you've got to be willing to move with the times, always looking ahead. I knew this was coming 5 years before it happened, but I couldn't get anything going. I fail. I built 2 network marketing companies to 40,000 reps, making a ton of money. Crash. Built another one, 40,000 reps, didn't pay me.
So what did the first one, why did it crash?
Just the owners did something stupid and it just crashed. Oh, no, the first one was cryptocurrency. And after the crash of the crypto, the feds came in and said, hey, this looks funky. So I lost. It wasn't illegal, but it came under the umbrella of others. So all this money I was making, all these reps and everything else, gone in a day. Crazy. But you don't give up. You keep going.
Right.
So the next company didn't pay us. And so I personally don't.
So you never even tried to see them because it just wasn't worth all the effort?
You can't get blood out of a stone. They're done.
That's true. They have no money. So
I made my money. I made my money. I didn't lose money, but
it's crazy.
But building those companies is hard work.
Yeah.
I loved it. I no longer do the multi-level marketing as much as I love it. I don't, because they're too volatile.
Mm-hmm.
Before
you came to America, what was your opinion of America? What did you think was going to be here?
The English think of the Americans as loud and cocky, and because they've got more. In England, we had a little rowboat, about an 8-foot rowboat with an engine. We were rich. My family was middle class, but they were considered in England, oh my God, look, I think they're fancy, don't they? They got a new kind of little boat. Oh, they're good. So we look at you guys here and go, oh, look at all the money they got and how easy it is. Oh, they're just cocky, aren't they? They're loud. They're just jokingly, like the Texans, the toilet paper is this big, isn't it? But no, it was just envy.
Yeah. And then when you come here, how did you feel? Did you feel like it lived up to that or it didn't?
In the beginning, because I wasn't willing to. The first time I sat at a party, someone held out this cocaine and said, do you want to try it? And my first question was, how much would that cost me if I have to buy it? And they said $12. 2.5 hours wages, 3 hours wages. You've got to be joking, haven't you? I can't afford that. And so I didn't do cocaine. My brother did and became an addict. Ended up in $2,000 a day and being a dealer and got to jail for it. And so I always looked at price and said, I can't afford that. And so it was kind of weird.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, it was a different world. So I had a very hard time the first 18 months because I knew nobody. And it was all English people I was around because they all kind of accumulated together. I generally do not speak to English people unless I've known them for a long time. I don't want to meet them. I don't want to see them unless they've been here a long time. Because they just want to whine. You know, I was like, no, I'm not interested. Well, don't you miss England? Do you think I'd be here if I did? What are you trying to say? Would you hang out with all the? Oh, I know an Englishman. You should meet him. Why? So I can smack him around the head and tell him to go home? No, you don't come to America to meet English people. It's like I moved away from it to be different.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to be different. You know what I'm saying? It's like I just didn't. You don't go someone to compete with everybody else. You get away from that. So
But I would say that a lot of people that are immigrants probably do come here and like to be with their own because they feel more
I don't get
comfortable.
it. I don't get it. Then stay in your own country. Why would you bring your culture with you? You just had to leave.
It's hard. Yeah.
That's not an excuse.
So you've definitely always, have the entrepreneurial spirit though, and you like being
Only through necessity and no choice.
Okay.
Really, just no choice.
Yeah.
I wasn't, like I say, I literally couldn't get a job at McDonald's. First, I've earned too much money, so they wouldn't know I'm there, but I couldn't learn the computer system. When I was a bartender, it was all by hand, doing the calculation. I could take an order of 30 drinks and remember it and give everyone back the correct change. Orders, drinks, take all the money, take all the change back.
So
I knew over 5,000 drinks, but it was all through memory.
Yeah.
You know what I did though? Before 1990, I had the worst memory in the world. I took this book here. This is my original book called Harry Lorraine, Memory Power.
Okay.
This gave me at that time a photographic memory. It drove me freaking crazy because it's like being on drugs. It's literally like your brain just doesn't sleep, and you can have 4 conversations. You can remember 20,000 digit numbers. You can remember every conversation. It doesn't last if you don't keep it up, but I can still remember a 1,000 digit number if I want to. I can still remember 50 items. You tell me what number 32. You know, those are just tricks of the book now. But that book allowed me back then to be able to just memorize everything and just go for it.
Okay.
And then you can put your common sense to what you learned.
Yeah.
It's not just memory. But the weird thing is, when you get to the peak of that, if you took a deep breath and had your eyes closed and opened your eyes and then closed them again, you can see everything still for minutes. You can literally see it like you're still looking at it. You can look around the room. It's the weirdest thing.
I guess you would recommend that book?
Yes. I can still remember the conversations back then. I can still remember the faces back then.
Yeah.
I kind of stopped doing it because it was driving me crazy. It was like
too much.
Just like fireworks in your head.
Wow.
It really was.
What would you say are some defining moments in your life where you had to, I mean, you've talked about some, but can you think of any other defining moments where you had to make quite a different decision for your life?
It's the people you hang around. You've got to hang around the right people. What changed it for me some years ago, I hadn't had the success I wanted before I built these big teams. And a friend, I'd met him at a seminar, and he was this good-looking black dude. And he sat there, and he's got his suit on, looking like $1 million, and he's with his wife. I get talking to him and say, "What do you do?" He says, "Well, I've got 9 different companies, you know." Holy shit. Well, after I got to know him a while, a couple of years, he said, "I'll coach you, but it'll cost you $10,000 for a year." I went, "Oh shit, I ain't got $10,000. So I found the money, paid him in 2 payments, but he changed my life. Literally, I went from, in fact, I've got a picture on the phone somewhere of my best, week was $17,000 in a week. I think that's what it was. I have a picture on my phone somewhere of this, what I earned, and I went, "Is that even possible?" I can see this. Where is it? And I keep it. Here it is. So, let's see. Yeah, $17,899 was my income for that week.
A week, not a month. Huh?
That was a week.
Oh, wow.
And that was, let's see, what's the other? yeah, it's like, I couldn't believe it. And that was shortly after when he taught me how to build teams and so on. It's like, and everyone says, he ripped you off, he ripped you off. But it's funny though, Lenny, because for 6 months he's saying, do this, do that, and I did nothing. He sat me down one day and says, Nigel, you either do it or you quit right now. What do you want to do? He said, did you put your life story on YouTube yet? No. If you don't do it by the time the next time I see you, we're done and you've lost your money. And so I put my life story on YouTube, and it's had about 17,000 views. And you can see it. It's up there. And it's funny because it changed my whole world. I put that up there and people call me on the phone. Oh my God, that is so cool. Like, holy shit. Others people call me up. You're an idiot. Whoa, what'd you waste my time that for 45 minutes? And yet other people call me up crying their eyes out. Oh my God, where can I come work with you? And it's like, and then I've got about 50 videos up there now or more. But yeah, nothing as quality as yours, but we're just in the garage.
I think it's interesting when you think about it, because when you're open and honest, I think that's really where you're coming from. Like, you're open and honest and willing to accept what's available and what are your options. So I think just that's like a block that people have. Just, I think just being open to what's available to themselves.
You got to want it.
Yeah.
You literally got to want it. I remember the first one time I looked back and I was still bartending, and I looked up and I saw a shooting star, and I closed my eyes and I made a wish. I prayed. I said, I just want a business. Show me a business. The next day I went to an event, and that's where I met my partner. That changed my life.
Yeah.
Oh, and then there's one other thing.
I do think asking for help is big. You know, I think that sometimes we don't reach out to the universe and ask for help. So I think that right there. And then to act on what's coming to us, because you might get help, but then you don't act on it. So like what you just said, you have to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but you got to want it though, not just say I'd like it, not a wish. You got to want it.
Yeah.
You've got to be willing to help someone out more than you. When you're dead broken out, you've got to be put all your time into staying dead broken, helping someone else make money. And that's the key. I was bartending and I was working my business, and it went on for about a year or more, 2 years, maybe a year and a half. And I was working all night at the bar till 2 a.m. and all day at my ATM business to get it going. One day I fell asleep on the freeway and almost killed myself. And I'm driving along this empty freeway, 2, 3 a.m, and I'm just clearing off. All of a sudden, this bright light in my face. I'm like, holy mother! The cops woke me up and then drove on. I put my notice in next day. I was done. I said, I'm quitting. I'm going to die. But I was only making enough money at the bar to survive. Only enough money at my business to survive. Which one do I keep?
Yeah.
Both together were barely enough to survive. But I had to give up one. Do I keep the job or do I go for the business? And then shortly after, the guy screwed me out of all my residual. So that was gone too. But what do? Do you quit? No. I call that my first experience with an angel.
Yeah.
It was. If you believe in angels, they don't come in these little wings. They come as people to help you. That's another story. I actually did a video on that. But
it's crazy. I want to hear.
No, I don't want to get too philosophical about my angels, but they're real. But they'll take you down as fast as they take you up if you try and mess with them. They will. They're not here. They're not like furry, fuzzy little things that they're there to steer you in the right way. But if you try and abuse them too long, they will take you back down and move on to the next person because you're lazy. And so that's a whole theory of mine. But no, but yeah, it's changed my life. You got to know when your angels come along, because they come along at the most unexpected time, and you just don't know what they are, who they are.
Very cool. In England, do you think women were treated the same as like in America? Like, did women have the same opportunities?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As good as they took there. Here it's like women here tend to be a little bit too feminized, perhaps, in the workplace, and they shouldn't be there sometimes. They take it or they don't. You don't worry about men having language and that.
Yeah.
That's the way it is.
Yeah.
Well, women are just as much better at certain things, I'm sure, but they can't be going to the workplace and saying, well, you can't say that. Oh, I'm offended.
That's hard. I feel like that's become really extreme lately. That it's hard to not say something without offending somebody. It's more.
I don't try not to offend someone. I don't.
Of course.
It's like if I meet a friend and want to work with them in business, and they're black, and so my first question is, are you American or African American? The wrong answer, you're not working with me. I don't go for this racial thing. If you want to be African, go back to Africa. Don't give me that crap. You're not ethnically American. You're American. I don't see your color unless you make me see it. And so I don't go for all this racial crap. You know, I'm not sensitive to that at all. I offend a lot of people with that. If you're watching this video and you're offended by that, kiss my ass, because I don't care. It's just too stupid, really.
Yeah.
And people bring that into, you know, don't get me on my soapbox.
Yeah, it's hard. I think the best thing is just to be kind to people and treat them as equal. So
you got to help those who want it. It's like I teach this. Said, why does someone give a $5 bill to a homeless person out the window of the car?
To help them?
No. What's that homeless person's job?
Well, you just don't know what their mental capacity is.
No, they have a job. They have a job in the universe.
Oh, I see. Well, I think it's to teach you to accept that everybody can make a choice and live how they want to live.
Their job is to make you feel better about yourself.
Oh, that could be.
You don't give them money to say, "Oh, here, poor thing." You do it because you want to feel high and mighty. Oh my God, I'm such a good person. See how good I am, and you feel good. It has nothing to do with that person.
Maybe
you're actually doing that person a disservice.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, that's okay, but that's their job, to make you feel better about yourself, to make you appreciate your life.
Maybe.
They've got a job. It's not what you think it is.
Well, what is their job? You think their job is to make you happy?
Yeah. No, to make you appreciate what you have, because you can't feel pleasure without pain.
Okay.
So if they weren't there, how would you know how good you got it? And they're quite happy being there, and they make about $20-$30 an hour, so they're happy.
I don't know if that's always true, but yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
There are videos on YouTube how to be homeless and make more money.
Yeah, I know that there are people that do that, but I can't imagine that every day, every homeless person is making that amount of money. They're not.
No, some of them don't know how to do it.
Yeah.
No, they don't.
Yeah.
But I've had them live at my house, but as soon as they stop helping themselves, they have to leave. I'll give them a chance several times. Two of them actually went and did well.
Because you've been there, you know what it's like.
Yeah.
That's good.
But you got to really get out of it. You got to want it.
Yeah. Yeah.
All my videos, it's funny because all my 50 videos I put out there on YouTube, the main people that call me are usually kids from 16 to 22, and they're usually black from the hood. Oh my God, I've got no one to talk to. Thank you for making your videos. And I sit on the phone and help them.
That's good.
As if I told my friend about this, they'd say I was trying to be white. Come on, poor guy. And they just want to reach out and talk to someone.
Yeah, I think that is hard. That I feel like, I could be wrong, but I feel like if you're a different nationality, a different ethnicity, that you might look at white people and have an opinion that we're looking down on you. You know, so I don't understand because I'm not coming from their perspective, but I wish that they wouldn't think like that.
That was my biggest shock coming to America, seeing people talk differently because of your color.
Yeah.
I almost got knifed because I said to a guy, "Are you serious? You really speak like that? I thought it was just the movies." And he pulled a knife on me. I said, And he was a black kid, obviously, but very, very ghetto. And I went, dude, mate, what's up? What's up? I went into a black area in LA one time, Compton, really nasty area. Only blacks are allowed. And I went there to fix an ATM. And this guy, he was like much bigger than me. He was way taller than me. He was huge. And he comes up, he says, do you have a death wish? In a very black accent. I said, what do you mean, mate? I'm like, holy shit, I'm dead. And he says to me, oh my God, I'm sorry, you're English. You can't be racist. Thank the Lord. And I went, holy crap, I didn't know this really existed. Because I said, I'm just here to fix your ATM. And he heard my accent and said, oh, no, come on in, come on in. I was blown away. If I'd been American, I'd been dead. Huh?
I said, good thing you had an accent.
I don't think he understood what I said.
That's funny.
That was my biggest shock in my coming here.
Yeah.
That was a culture shock. My brother-in-law is black. My nieces are black and white. We don't give it. It's like we don't care about your color. Care about what you say, how you do it.
Right. Yeah.
And so if someone comes this, I'm poor me because I'm black. I'm poor me because I'm this, I'm that. What? You're in America.
Yeah.
The streets literally are paved with gold if you want it. You just got to be willing to pick it up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, that's my opinion.
Very good. Do you feel that most people are kind?
Yeah, I think so. They've got their own story, their own chip on their shoulder sometimes. I think very often someone might not like you because you remind them of themselves, maybe as a younger person. And so you're triggering something. But, you know, my coach said to me, he says, why do people like you? Or why do you like somebody? And I'm like, I don't know, because they're cool. People like you or you like them because of the way they make you feel. If someone makes you feel good, you like them. And vice versa. Simple as that.
Very true.
I thought it was an insightful thing to say. You know.
What is your coach's name?
Bishop Stewart. Very brilliant guy. Owns multiple companies, physical companies, as well as online companies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
One of the most brilliant people I've ever met in my life. Very well spoken, very nice guy. Everyone loves him. Everyone just wants to follow him.
That's neat.
Really
so, what business are you doing now?
Well, after the ATM business, I got into dry heat therapy. And it's taken me a struggle to build it because, you know, with this coronavirus going on. But literally, I work with people with neuropathy, type 2 diabetes, osteoarthritis, you know, things like that. So I'm a mobile pain management service, and it's an incredible service. So if you have fibromyalgia, or if you have any of these pain diseases or anything else, we take care of it very holistically. And all we're doing really is detoxing the body, oxygenating, putting nutrients into the blood, increasing the nitrous oxide, all through the palm of the hand in a device. And it warms the blood, flushes through your heart, detoxes 90% of the viruses, metals, and toxins in your blood, and your body takes care of the rest. And it's an incredible, incredible device. And if anyone's ever open to trying, I'm a mobile service.
How long have you been doing that?
2 years now.
Okay, that's a while.
In fact, that I was saying, I used to have fibromyalgia of chronic fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
And to my surprise, and I came into this looking at this going, you're an idiot. That can never work. What can you do? Well, thank you. Warm my hand up. I haven't had chronic fatigue more than 3 times in 2 years. And literally. And so that changed my whole life.
Mm-hmm.
So I became a representative with the company and said, hey, I want to join your company. I want to be able to sell your product.
Mm-hmm.
I started my own little franchise.
Very good.
Now I travel all over.
If it's using heat, how is it like killing germs or helping increase oxygen? How is it doing that?
The way it works, when you put your hand in this, what we call hyperbaric chamber technology, it's got a ceramic heat pad, which heats the palm of your hands. Now, if you were to put your hand on that ceramic pad on its own, without the chamber to be able to vacuum and do what it does, your hand would shut off that area and just get hotter and hotter and hotter and burn. Because the hyperbaric chamber actually seals around your hand and then vacuums it and opens up your vessels, it allows the blood to keep flowing. Through some kind of chemical reaction, it's increasing oxygen and nutrients through the palm of the hands, warming the blood, thinning it slightly, rushes through your heart, but at the same time, we're raising your core temperature by 1 degree, up to 1 degree. That kicks in your body to think you're into a low-grade fever and starts trying to fix yourself again.
Okay.
The chemical process then just kind of flushes out all the toxins in the veins. So if you've got neuropathy in your feet, it'll literally open up all those veins, all those microcapillaries, which has 80,000 miles in your body of those little veins. And it literally clears it all out, letting the blood flow. So people with neuropathy are going to go, oh, I can feel my arms tingling, my legs tingling, and they haven't felt their legs in years. And so they literally cleans you out through a chemical process. And without that vacuum, if you know what a hyperbaric chamber is, that's those things the Marines use when you dive too deep and you come up too fast, and there's a chamber, you get inside and oxygen it. Well, our machines are the same technology, but for the hand. And they even use our machines. In fact, the Navy SEALs use our machines. The space station, they take the machine up with them because it's oxygen in the blood.
Huh.
So even though I can tell you it does this, this, and this, and this, it only does one thing. Detoxes you, cleans the blood out. Your body does the rest.
Mm-hmm.
So whether I tell you it's Parkinson's or this or the neuropathy, that's not the machine. Your body's doing that once we clean you out.
Okay.
And I've seen miracles happen. I'm like, wow, that should never have happened. Like my oldest patient's 98 years old. And I treat her because she's bedridden with a broken hip. And before I came along, her legs were going black. She was risking blood clots. Now she can kind of hobble to the bathroom and her legs don't go black. They stay regular color. She doesn't get bed sores. She's in perfect health, except her broken hip, of course. And then but you can go to my Facebook page and see all that. So
That sounds really cool. Tell me, what is fibromyalgia that you have?
Until a few years ago, it was this mythical imagination in your head.
Okay.
You're just lazy. You're just low sensitive pain. Fibromyalgia is type of 3 stages. It's fatigue, pain, and body ache, and different levels of fatigue. So certain people can be in bed 20 days of the month, literally can't think, can't function, complete pain. The nerves are too close to the surface for some reason. And so even when my wife used to do this very gently 2 or 3 times, it would start to hurt. And it was a deep pain. It was like, oh, stop that, please. That hurts. It was like going under the surface and digging in. So it's weird. And so every day of my life, I'm waking up fatigue and body pain, like I've been beaten up all night. I haven't slept. And I'd sleep 10 hours. I still wouldn't feel like I slept. Well, I go, oh, and people say, you're lazy. It cleared it up for me within days. And I thought it was coincidence because about 6 weeks of the year, every year I would be okay. So I thought, oh, coincidence, I'm just having a good week, a good month. They carried on. I went, okay. So medication will take fibromyalgia down by about 1% in 90 days. We are FDA in the EU, European Union. Our machine is FDA approved for fibromyalgia, and it can take it down in about 2 weeks, where you won't recognize it anymore. And so here we're FDA cleared for aches, pains, arthritis, and so on, officially.
Mm-hmm.
And so osteoarthritis, we have amazing results. Neuropathy, we have amazing results. But again, we're just detoxing. So it's going to give you that effect.
Very cool. And no side effects?
Zero, because it's just heat, and there's no, even if you have blood clots, of course, see a doctor first.
Mm-hmm.
We've had no experience with any kind of side effects at all
Mm-hmm.
in 14 years.
Okay, so the product's been around 14 years.
It has. It's made in Carlsbad, California, invented there too. And it literally has only been back in the States about 2.5 years. It was in Europe for a long time. You had to be a doctor to buy it over there. Now the public can buy it.
Okay.
And so it's an incredible, it really is.
Do you have any life advice that you would like to share?
Protect your attitude. Don't look at people for how they look at them how their attitude. Get around the right people. Want it more than they do. Don't complain. Just last year I lost everything. Went from this $18,000 income to nothing, because my business went out of business really fast. The COVID just kind of put a nail in it. From 18,000 to nothing, lost my house, lost everything. What do? Complain? No, you help more people. So I have a friend who gets depressed. I said, look, you're depressed because you're not getting out of the house and going to help somebody who needs it. I'm too depressed to help them. No, you got it backwards. You go help someone who's worse than you and you'll forget your depression. So I'm literally building my business back up, and it's now finally, my sales this month have been great.
That's
and
great.
I'm like, it goes from here to like.
So the philosophy or the saying, the more you help or the more you give, the more you receive.
It's funny because the first 12 months I was help, going out of my way, taking my gas, making no money, no one's buying. But you're building a pipeline.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, bang, 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 bang. And I was like, oh, that's where it comes from. But you don't just go putting the cart before the horse. You can't say, I want the heat and then I'll light the fire.
Mm-hmm.
You literally got to just help as many people as you can with no expectation. I don't help you or anybody else with any expectation. In fact, I tell people, try my device and tell me I'm an idiot if it doesn't work. Prove to me it doesn't work. That's what I did.
Yeah. But I think also just in your life in general, that's what you're doing. You're accepting things as they are, and you're helping people without an expectation. And then it's coming back to you.
That's the hardest part. Helping without expectation, very, very difficult. Because, well, I did this for you, and no, don't expect anything back.
It releases you and makes you not stressed then, I feel like. Like it's just easier when you don't go in with
more people.
Yeah.
Not everyone can be helped.
Right.
And you certainly can't help someone by giving someone money. I used to think you can. Again, that comes back to you making yourself feel good. Actually, they're going to hate you if you give them money. Well, I can't feed my kids this week. Okay, I can show you how to make money this week.
Mm-hmm.
But if I give you money, you're going to go to be lazy and have no money next week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
People call me from my videos and go, oh, yeah, you're great, great. And then they ask me for a loan. I wouldn't insult you by giving you money. You need to go figure out how to do it.
Well, but people helped you out. You got a loan to do your businesses. So, I mean, there are times when it's good to give somebody money.
I had a business plan.
Yeah.
And I went to a friend and some other friends and said, look, this is what I need for this business.
Right.
These people are asking me for a loan so they can pay the rent, so they can go do this or do that. They're not looking to have a business plan.
I understand. Right. Yeah.
No, there are times, yes, you need some help, but not just, hey, I need $20. Well, you just went to the bar last night. Yeah, but I got no money today. So I got to pay for last night's drinking. Well, you go pay the rent.
Right. You want people to be self-reliant and accountable. Absolutely.
Accountable. Yeah.
But I think there was a story, I don't know if it was in California and somewhere else, but they gave the homeless people like $5,000 and it helped a lot of them. They were able to, it was like the first time where like, oh, I can go rent an apartment now. I can go get a job. I have a place to live. So I do think sometimes seed money helps. So you're disagreeing, but I think that's a good idea.
Because the more you help them with just cash,
yeah,
the more you invite to come get more cash.
Right. Yeah, I don't like that mentality, but I do think sometimes they need help to get
Yeah,
going.
help, yes. They need the help, but not the cash.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah.
need to be able to help you. You need to help them help themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Now, yeah, come to my house. Here's the shower. Here's the laundry. Here's the food.
Mm-hmm.
Let me help you out. Let me
Right.
keep your hand up.
Right.
If
Right.
I give you cash here, poor thing, just to make myself feel better, I can guarantee 95% of those people you gave cash to, one might be okay, two might do it. But
Yeah.
generally speaking, they're just gonna, they don't
Right.
know how to handle that kind of cash.
Yeah. It's
So I
hard.
disagree with that completely.
Right. And then the same with like welfare from the government. Like they give them money, but I agree more along the lines of teaching them how to take care of themselves, not continually giving them money.
Why are there signs say "Don't feed the bears, don't feed the pigeons"?
Yeah.
Do you know how to starve pigeons in Trafalgar Square?
Yeah.
Stop feeding them.
Exactly. Yeah.
Just take the people I stop feeding. They all die within a month. They're dead, all of them. And that's
Because
a
they
true fact.
didn't learn how to be self
They
reliant. Yeah.
can't. They only know how to. Their job is to clean up after the. But no, if you want to kill someone, give them cash.
Yeah.
I promise you, if I give you enough cash every month for the next 12 months, you will not work, or you'll do very little, and you won't push yourself. And in 12 months, when I cut you off, I guarantee you'll hate me. Oh, you rich bugger! You think you can just cut me off, do you? Oh, I hate you.
Yeah.
I've seen it done.
Yeah.
The more you do for someone, the more I hate you.
Hmm. Well,
So,
in different
now, I
ways.
didn't say you can't help them get their business off the ground or
Yeah. But you're just saying
help
not cash.
themselves or here's
Yeah.
some gas money to get to work.
Right.
That's one thing.
Yeah. I understand what you're saying.
Haven't you?
So I like to ask people, what do you feel humanity needs to work on to make our world a better place?
Helping others.
Yeah.
Help those who don't have the same leg up. But don't let them feel sorry for themselves. Don't let them whine. Poor me, poor me. Walk away from them. For as long as you want to say poor me, I have no interest in helping you. When I was broke and pretty much without a home, way back when I was young, 22, 23 when I came here, I borrowed a car. I had $3 in my pocket. I could pay that $3 of gas and get to work in LA to make $11 an hour, or I could eat for 50 cents. I couldn't afford a 50 cents taco. I didn't know you could go behind stores and go in the dumpsters and grab the food. But I'd known that, I'd have been rich. But no, I literally couldn't afford that taco one day and I was starving. I hadn't eaten in a day or two. But I had to get to work and I borrowed a car. But and then a guy next day says, "Hey, if you clean my garage, I'll feed you." Thank you. Absolutely. He didn't have money, but he did what he could.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe
Yeah.
he gave me $5 as well that day, but I was happy as a pig in poo. It was. I mean, because I had a dream though. It wasn't, oh, poor me, I'm starving.
Yeah.
No, I had a dream. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I want to be. This is where I want to go. And people live through those dreams. Oh yeah, come stay on my couch tonight. Oh yeah, yeah, let me help you. Let me borrow use my car. Yeah. It's hard when you're trying to get out of it, but it's just the way it goes. You just got to not be careful not to feel sorry for them and kill their accomplishment,
Mm-hmm.
kill their wants,
Yeah.
because your kindness will kill them, literally, devastate them, and they'll hate you.
Yeah. So the trick is teach them to take care of themselves.
Teach them to fish. Don't give them a fish. Of
Yeah.
course, give them a lunch if they need anything. Give them a start.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Show them the laundry doesn't fresh. I had a homeless girl around the corner, and she's got no shoes on. It was cold in winter, and I said, "Hey, are you okay?" "Oh yeah, someone stole my shoes." "What size are you?" "Size 9." "My wife's a size 9. She got 50 pairs of shoes. Come on over." This girl comes in the house, and I show her some shoes. She says, "Oh my God, I don't like those." "Oh, they're not very pretty, are they?" "Oh no, I don't like them. No. Get out of my house." I couldn't believe the ingratitude of this person. She didn't
Yeah.
want to. She wanted, well, they're not my style.
Guess she didn't really
Their
want to
feet
do.
are cold.
Yeah. It is odd.
Disgusted.
You just don't know what's going through their head.
Well, you
That is
saw that
crazy.
story. Did you see that story in the newspaper some years ago? A cop saw a guy with no shoes. He went and bought him a pair of shoes, and there was a big story how nice the cop was. 2 days later, they went back and found the same homeless guy with no shoes. Where'd your shoes go? Well, I've got to hide them because someone will steal them.
Aw.
He was mentally ill.
Yeah.
My point is, not everyone's got cold feet because they've got no shoes.
Yeah.
He just didn't want to wear them because he'd get them stolen. He'd rather have cold feet.
Yeah. Craziness.
So,
If people want to learn more about you, how do they look you up?
well, you can go to my virtual business card, which is painfree.us, or you can go, the same one again is Nigel Dix, Nigel Dix, Delta Indian X-ray, NigelDix.com. Either one will take you to my virtual business card and shows you everything about what I do, who I am, my phone number, my email.
Mm-hmm.
If you fail that, just go to YouTube, look me up there, and you'll find my phone number all over YouTube.
Very good. Very good.
Yes.
All right. And then I'm going to ask you one more question. So what would you say to someone who is an immigrant that just came to America? Like, what advice would you give them?
It's not like when I came here the first time. Back then, it was much easier. It was much easier. The laws, everything were just so different. Now,
Yeah.
you can't get a social, you can't get a license. You are literally on your own. But there's still many opportunities if you're willing to be creative and work. You know, there's always sales. I can show you how to make a ton of money with what I do, but you've got to be willing to help others. Do you need money to start? No. If you've got the willingness to do it, I've got the willingness to help you, but I'm not going to give them a handout. You know, I'll give them a hand up.
Mm-hmm.
But if anyone's looking for their own little franchise, something of the future, not the past. See, that's the biggest problem. People look backwards when they want a business. Well, laundromats were great, liquor stores were great, bars were great, all yesterday's business. People still coming today to do the ATM business. It's a dead dodo business. You're looking the wrong direction. That's like saying I want to get into the automobile business, but I think I'll sell horse and buggies. You're looking the wrong direction.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, you're now going to look forwards. And that's what people don't do. I tell a friend that all the time. Oh, I've got all this money. I want to buy a laundromat. No, you don't. They no longer make money.
Yeah.
The laws have changed. I want a bar. No, you don't. I want a car wash. No, you don't. You've got to look forwards, mate, not backwards. I'll do ATMs. You won't. You know, it's like there's so much money to be made if you do the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
You've just got to be willing to, again, help the right people. How many people are in pain? How many people have got neuropathy or type 2 or whatever it is going on? I promise you, there's a couple out there. And if you're willing to just say, hey, try this, no expectation,
Mm-hmm.
that's what you got to do. But then again, a sale is a sale, right?
Mm-hmm.
I can sell these glasses and make $1 a box, or I can sell a jumbo jet and make enough money for 20 years. Which one do you want to sell? Where do you want to go in between?
Mm-hmm.
A sale is a sale,
Mm-hmm.
regardless of what you're selling.
Right.
So when I sell my machines, I don't go out with the intention to sell a machine. I go to help somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I can't stop them buying it once they figure out it works.
Yeah.
And so therefore I can make $1 or I can make a real commission
Mm-hmm.
for helping someone.
What's the name of the product again?
Avacen.
Okay.
Avacen Medical. AVACEN.
Okay.
Avacen Medical.
Yeah, actually.
So again, they can see that on my virtual business card. It will show
Mm-hmm.
the machine, little video.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been a miracle business. In fact, I can go from broke one day to too much money the next in 3 days because I got commissions coming in. And it's like, I love that. But again, it's because I've helped so many people now they're just kind of coming out the woodwork.
Yeah. And word of mouth, once people know that it works well.
And by the way, 90% of people get results from it, but 70% get big results from it.
Okay.
And there's still a small percentage that don't get any because you've got nothing to compare against.
Mm-hmm.
So if someone doesn't get a result, it's not because it's not working. It's because you have nothing to compare it against. You're healthy. At least nothing you can see.
Right.
My cousin died last year. He was completely healthy, travels the world. He's rich. He's got a family. He's got a beautiful wife and kids. Put his notice in at work at 55 years old. Put his 2-week notice in and died a week later of an aneurysm. The healthiest guy you could imagine. He could have used my machine and not known a thing, never noticed anything. I believe that machine would have dissolved the aneurysm and been no problem. Again, you can't tell. So even if you don't see the results, if you know the science of it, you know it's helping.
Right.
And so I don't convince anybody. But if you're not seeing results, why would you think you need it? Maybe you don't. Real quick, I've been to the gym 13 times now since they opened. Every time I go in, I go, work that's super hard, and I can barely scratch my nose. I'm so sore like this. I'm like, there you go, trying to scratch my nose. I get on my machine. It takes all the lactic acid out of my blood. It heals me in 1/3 the time. I go back next day and do the same thing again. And no pain. It's incredible. So for people who work out, I'm getting major results already. I'm like, wow. I don't see it, but I can feel it.
That's important.
It is. So,
Thank you.
I appreciate it, Lainey.
Thanks for sharing about yourself. I appreciate it.